And hello, welcome back to part 4 of the walkthrough. So today we're just going to continue with our monk build. We are level 12. The goal for today is to get our first spirit gem and to try to get to level 14 so we can take our first major skill. So one thing I haven't discussed is that eventually what I would like to try and do is move out. I think it's this way and take this one. So we can start using Hollow Palm. Basically means that we can now attack without it. And it just means we do like more physical damage, more evasion, more crit hit chance, all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. But we're not going to worry about that for a while. Probably not till Act 2, Act 3. But for now, we're going to keep running through. So the plan as of right now is we're just going to try and get through this area. We want to finish it. Bitch. Nice. So that is the plan now. Is that we're just going to quickly run through this area to kill everything as quickly as we can. We've done the main quest of this already in the last video. But really what we're trying to do is get through this zone as quickly as we can, kill everything, mainly for the XP boost. Oh, damn it. That will get you every time. That will fucking get you, won't it? But like, for argument's sake, this is a level 12 area. We are level 12. But yeah, right now we are just looking to level up as fast as we can. That is a point, which is nice. What we like to see. Bang, bang, bang. Hit them. But as of right now, we're just trying to kill everything as fast as we can. This is where it's a little bit tricky about what we want to do, because we don't have the ability yet really to take advantage. We could try to grab these, or we could move up this way right now. But based on what we're trying to do, we're going to grab this first. And then when we get to level 14, we can have our big ice notable, which then will work because we'll start using the ice. We'll be using ice stuff. Sorry, I always forget the name of the abilities. But we'll start using the ice, our major ice ability, which is going to really change the build. Honestly, once we get to that point, we are probably going to move away from a lot of these skills that we have currently, because frankly, a lot of them are just shit. They're just not. It's not that they're bad, but they're just not as. They're not as useful in for what we need as a. Anyway, so again, just kill everything, and we're gonna run through this area as quickly as we can, because all we're really trying to do is just grind to level 14. You obviously you don't have to do what I'm doing here and go around and trying to clear the whole area. But for me, our goal that's really gonna change this build up and really start to see our big changes when we take our first major skill. And that is the major thing that will change this build, because we won't be using Quarterstaff Strike anymore, which is good, because as nice as it is, it just doesn't do the major damage that we basically want to be increasing that damage output numbers by a reasonable amount. And that skill, this skill, while it's good, it's just not doing the damage that we want, especially as we get deeper into the game. And also the other issue with this skill is the way that the game works is that if you want to, I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but if you want to put more skill gem slots into this, what you need to do, probably because I changed stuff around. So again, you got to make sure you have enough slots to insert what you're trying to use. But basically, if you want to increase these, you need to get an item that will drop. It's basically like an orb. You slot that in, it gives you an extra slot in whatever skill you want. Except for this, your base skill, it doesn't work on. For them, you get one every like, I always forget the exact number. I think it's like every 30 to 25 levels, you will then get an extra slot. Which is, it's fine. It's not bad. But from the perspective of playing the game, it's probably not recommended, or I wouldn't recommend using those type of skills if you don't have to, because you're just not able to put in the skill gems that you might want to be having in to really make the damage output where it needs to be. Depending on the build, you can get away with it. But other like the warrior as an example, like definitely his mace strike is definitely worth keeping. In this case with the monk, we just want to use it early game, but once we get to that ability and we can get rid of it, just get rid of it, in my opinion. Well, on other note, that isn't walkthrough related. I just thought I'd tell you that I am getting through the grenade build. So hopefully I can have that to end game soon, that I can show it off to you and you can have a look. So that you can actually, if you're interested in running grenades, you can run grenades, which is great. On other news, I guess I also would put out is it sounds like that the new league is coming the end of May, which is quite longer of a gap than they have taken recently, which hopefully that means they're making a lot of changes to endgame that is going to make the endgame a lot better for people or players to run through, which I think the hardcore audience has been begging for ages. My other hope is that it will just bring another act to the campaign, which, I mean, yes, please. Like, that's something I fucking have wanted for ages. And then also, I'm hoping, and all the rumblings are telling us that we might finally be getting swords. I would love the duelist build. I've never played duelist before, even in POE 1. So to get an actual duelist build would be really cool. The other one I'm really excited for is Marauder. That's my go-to in PoE 1. I really love anything strength-based, basically, like a big dude that's like, hey, I'm gonna fuck everything up, mate. That is my bread and butter. My bread and butter. All right, so good news. We just got our point. So now we're gonna grab this skill. We are now level 14. Skill gem. Oh, what? All right, we needed level 5 skill gem to be able to take this skill, unfortunately. But we at least meet the weapon requirements to run this skill now. So that's at least something positive. I'm pretty sure they drop in where we're going next. Yeah, that was a bit disappointing. But anyway, right now what we're trying to do, we've pretty much done this whole area now anyway, that if you want to keep running through to grind for XP, absolutely, you can do that. But at this point, I'm pretty sure we've been everywhere now. So now I'm just trying to find the exit, which I'm pretty sure is here. Just make sure you do the quest for Una so you can cash in those 2 skill points, because those are very useful. So waypoint, checkpoint. You can run through here now if you want to. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. Well, you can, but I wouldn't bother. The only reason to really do this now is you just really want that like spirit gem to if you really want that skills gem slot to drop. But we're not going to get that right now, so I'm not going to worry. We are now going to go. Actually, I'm going to go back to Clearfell first, and we'll get rid of our stuff. All right. So first off, talk to him, identify everything. Talk to Una first. Disenchant. Yep, I'll get rid of that. These are just evasion boots. I do like a little bit of energy shield for him, so we'll keep that. We're doing evasion energy shield. Okay, cool. I'll show you where to get the stuff for it in the later level, but salvage bent, make sure you salvage that stuff. It's up to you if you keep these if you want to use them. Oh, I don't mind that because that's only doing. So I'm going to get rid of that. So now I'm going to swap these two. Just my preference. And now we're going to sort through all of these. I'm going to go to my gem slot because I do have a tier 5 already. Here we go. So I'm going to take our tier 5 skill gem. Go this. Grab you. And now we can grab it. Two options. So you're vaulting impact. Definitely cool, but I'm not taking it, at least for this build. So now you got Tempest Fury. Flurry, sorry. But basically, this is a very heavy lightning type build, if that's the way you want to go. Basically, the main options here are that you take this as your main physical attack, or you can go for Ice Strike. Now, I personally, they're basically the same thing. I personally would go Ice Strike. As you can see, it's doing 85%, a bit more damage. This only converts 60. This is doing 80. This just adds a bit more melee strike damage, but I really like Ice Strike. It's very good. So I'm going to take Ice Strike. We are probably now going to get rid of some skills. So we're going to put Ice Strike there. We'll get rid of these because we're not going to be using this anymore. So that can go. We're going to put Ice Strike here as our main skill. We'll keep our Frozen skills and Tempest Spell for now. When it comes, now this is where it's a little bit tricky to know what the best options are to do. So we're going to sort those back. So, well, because it's ice, we probably want all the ice. Look at our ice-based skills. That's Ice Bite. Oh, I thought I had other ice ones. Hang on, let me just have a look. Deep Freeze. Cold Attunement. And we might put Cold Attunement 4 now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put Cold Attunement. We're going to put Ice Bite in there. We'll swap that. This is Freeze. So this is basically what we're going to run for now. If you want, what you could do is if you have lesser driller orbs, which you probably won't, but if you have them, you can then put them in all these skills, which I'm just going to do. I'm not going to use them yet, probably not till like later after the campaign, but you can now use all these to get that extra socket. But if you do want to use something, if you're ever unsure what to put, what I would recommend is... Where the fuck? Do I not have a rage here? I thought I did. Huh, I don't. Oh well. Well, what we want to do is take rage, but if you want to know, these are like our basic skills that you can take if you want for this particular skill. This is always a good one for that extra elemental, which I might actually take this instead of rage. You can maybe throw in rapid attacks if you want to as well. This is just giving us attacks gain 30% of damage is cold damage, and then cold attunement. So we're gonna just run with that for now. Okay, I'm gonna make you the bell, and then you can be him, and then that can be clear. And this is pretty much all we're gonna run for now. The next stuff we might take is freezing mark, charred staff, and that's really all. You can maybe take some of these skills as well, but for now, that's basically what we're gonna run. I'll need to figure out what the build is gonna look like long term, because things are gonna change. Things will change when we look at going into Fist. But just as an example now, look how fast we're killing stuff. Even though like our attack speed isn't the fastest it could be, look how everything is just shattering on hit. Basically, everything is fucking dying when we hit it. This is why this is a very good skill. As of right now, it's not super high level. So in the sense of its mana requirements are still very manageable. Like it's only like level 9 or whatever. But now what we're trying to do is do this area so we can do... we're going to do that one thing that's get this one, our spirit gem. Because what we want Ice Strike, not Ice Strike, we want Herald of Ice, which basically is really going to make this build go online. I think it's called Flurry Strike. Sorry if I get the name wrong. Flurry Strikes, which is essentially the lightning equivalent of this move, is your next option. With that one, you just take Herald of Thunder. And the idea is basically like, as we kill things with ice, it will then cause ice to go out to kill more things, which is pretty much what we want to be doing. Constantly doing. When we go to running fists instead of having a staff, I'm not sure how that's going to change the build. If we're going to have to make any kind of major changes. But for the most part, from what I can tell, as of right now, probably should put extra stuff into this, but right, that's where my rage gem is. I put it into the Tempest Bell, which I kind of forgot I did that. Alrighty, let's see. So pretty much what we're trying to do here is you want to activate all the... I can't remember what you call it. the little shrines. The reason we're doing this is it's part of Finn's quest. We can then, once that's done, we will gain the ability to get our first spirit gem after we beat the boss. The boss can be tricky. It is probably the first, what I would call, maybe not the first, but it is a major skill check in the game. My recommendation is to not worry, to come to this a bit later. After you, if you've been following along, just do the stuff that we're doing. By doing that is going to get you into a position, in my opinion, where you can absolutely take on this guy and not have too much of a problem. You can obviously come after him earlier if you want the skill earlier. You absolutely can. I personally wouldn't recommend it from what I've played of this game in my time playing it, but you absolutely can do it in any order you want. Just obviously be aware that the longer you, that if you come to it a bit later, you're going to be a bit more powerful and you won't struggle as much. But if you think you want to give it a crack and you can do it, absolutely go for it. There's no reason. The good thing about this game that I really do like is the fact that the game doesn't really lock you out of content, in the sense that there is absolutely no reason why you couldn't attempt anything in any order at any time. The way that the game is designed, you absolutely can. Like, you're not really locked out of any of the content. That, like, there's not really an order to do things. There is probably a recommended order, but which you could probably look at some wikis and stuff, and people might suggest to you, hey, you should do it in this order, or hey, you should do it in this order, or whatever. But I don't believe from a content perspective that there's actually like anything that the game does to be like, hey, I mean, there's like a recommended level, which is probably the closest to that, but like, again, you can do it in any order that you want, so no stress there. The only annoying part about this level is you do technically have to run through every single area, because there's, I think, 3 or 4 shrines that you need to do. Okay, I think this is the last one, and then we can go take on the boss. So first thing we're gonna do, wait for them to get around us. Bang, that just explodes a lot of them. And then pretty much we're just gonna do, oh, the bell didn't land. Oh, that's bullshit. Anyway, the strat really going forward now is I strike, I strike, I strike, I strike, which is pretty much what we're going to be constantly doing. We'll now begin the ritual. They're all going to attack us now. Put our frozen locust. And then put our bell down. As you can see. And then just... This will also be a lot more effective once we get Ice Strike. Not Ice Strike. Once we get fucking... So he's now going to transform because we've done the first phase. Alright, we're going to hit him with that. I'm now just going to spam that at him. Try to avoid that. This guy does a lot of chaos damage, which basically means he's a fucking pain in the ass. And we just got one-shotted. Awesome. Love it when that happens. As you can see, actually, it's probably a good thing that we died then, because now you can see why this guy is a pain in the ass. Because he just one-shots you, dude. It's so annoying. It's why, for me, I think he is one of the worst guys in the game, especially this early, because he is a... Alright, put the fucking bell down, dude. The reason I hate him is because I think he doing chaos damage at this point of the game where you have basically no resistance to chaos at all, I think is a bit dog shit. Oh shit. No. Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell. Just be careful because of those attacks. But my advice for this is you're pretty much trying to brute force him as quickly as you can. With rewards, just take what you want. None of these are that good anyway, so I'm just going to take the... Actually, we'll just take a support gem. Alright, so now that's done. We're going to portal out. As always, identify, talk to Finn, go through his dialogue. He's going to give you a reward. You can take your first charm. Personally, I always like to go cold resistance because that's what the first boss uses. With these now, as you can see, this is actually slightly better. So we're going to grab you, and that's doing a bit more mana as well. So we're going to grab you as well. We'll then sort those into my fast dash tab. We're just going to place these up on them just to get them doing a little bit better. More recovery from the... Okay, so both of those are good. Also, make sure you use the well after you swap out your flasks to refill them. Okay, we're probably going to just get rid of all that stuff. The currency will keep. This is going to grant us our first spirit gem and give us 30 spirit. So right click that. We now have 30 spirit. You can now take your first spirit ability there, or spirit skill. As you can see, you can absolutely take any spirit ability from any class that you want. However, depending on the class will depend how effective the actual spirit that you're taking is. Basically, recommendation: if you're doing monk, taking, the witch skill of Ravenous Swarm as a random example, probably not super effective. Or Withering Presence, which is all chaos. It's like, well, we're not using chaos, so this is probably useless for us. So, if you're new to the game, my recommendation is just stick to the class that you're playing, but you can mix and match if you decide to. For us right now, we've got 3 options. Ghost Dance, just so you can read that. Not exactly sure how this works, but we're not going to use it anyway. Main choices we have here is either Herald of Thunder or Herald of Lightning. Again, depends on what skills you've taken, but essentially, if you're lightning focused, you want Herald of Thunder. If you're ice focused, you want Herald of Ice. I guess the only thing I'll add also with these is these only apply to melee focused builds. As an example, it says right here, martial weapons only. Basically, axes, bows, claws, crossbows, daggers, flails, maces, quarterstaffs, spears. Basically means if you're the sorceress and you're running electricity, you can take this, but it won't do anything because sorceress doesn't use a martial weapon. So anyway, we're going to take Herald of Ice. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to put that there. With any of those type skills, the first thing you want to do is you want to find this, which is Magnified Area. Again, makes this ability work higher effect. You absolutely want to grab that. When it comes to other skills, let's have a look. Well, we don't have enough. Pretty much we would want to take Cold Attunement, but we don't really have... I don't think we have the intelligence for it, do we? No, we can only hold 6 right now. It's a little annoying, but it is what it is. Make sure you right click it so it starts activating. Yeah. Not sure what I'm gonna do with that. I'll try not to move into these skills yet because you won't be using them anyway, so maybe we'll just grab overabundance. You definitely want to be taking these. This we will probably get rid of at some point, but I think for right now we'll keep it. We're just gonna do this, but if you've got skill gems, what you can do is just grab them and then use those skill gems to force upgrade them, and that's what we're gonna do. We've actually made a little bit better time than I expected. So I think what we'll do is we'll try to get the village done. And then once I think the village is done, we'll do the boss, and then we might wrap it there. And then in the next video, we can finish Act 1. As you can see now, the major difference that's happening before is as I kill one person with ice, basically, it's like the ice attack or the ice damage, or I don't know what you'd call it exactly. Does it actually tell you? Shattering enemy will cause an icy explosion. Yeah, so basically what's happening is as we're killing things, an ice explosion's happening, and that ice explosion is then causing other things to die from said ice explosion, which is very cool. And it just, again, it just works with this build very well, and as you can see, it does make it look like that we are doing a lot more damage or just killing stuff faster, which is really good. You definitely don't need to use Herald of Ice. You don't need to take Ice Strike if you don't like Ice, as an example, and you'd prefer to work with Lightning or Thunder. You absolutely can do that. The only thing I will say, though, is if you are choosing to go Thunder, very important, make sure you take this skill. Elemental Armament. Well, to be honest, any skill that uses an element, you probably want to take Elemental Armament because, again, you're just getting more damage. More bang for your buck, basically. So it's almost like a guaranteed skill that you want to take. And any of our melee attacks, if you're like, oh, I've got a spare slot, I don't know what to do, rapid attacks is always great for that. Because again, the faster that we can swing our weapon is the faster that we can do more attacks, inherently more damage. I guess that's the other thing that I might explain as well, is the thing that can get a bit confusing is like skill speeds and that kind of stuff, because it's like, oh, why would I care about attack speed? I don't want attack speed. By the way, up here is where the boss is. What I want is damage. Another thing you have to think about is the faster you can activate your attack, the faster you can then do said attacks, meaning you're doing more damage. Like, think about it like this. If you do a swing every 5 seconds, and that weapon is doing 5% damage, so it's like every 10 seconds you are doing 5%. So every 10. So it means in a minute you are doing 60 damage. But if you change that, so now instead of doing just like, you can now do 2 swings. No, wait, I got that math wrong. Sorry, I'm explaining this really poorly. But basically, to sum it up, the idea is basically if you can attack more times, then per minute, your amount of damage you can now inflict is going up. Because if one attack you were doing 5 damage, now with one attack, with 2 attacks, you're now doing 10. And you're doing now 2 attacks, right? In the same amount of time that you would do one before. Basically means you are doing more damage. It's just not a raw damage stat. But alas. I hope that makes sense. I guess another thing I'll quickly talk about is like if you are enjoying these videos, please leave a comment, leave a like. Tell me what you like about the videos, tell me what you dislike. I'd always appreciate the feedback. All right. So this area is where you will find the toolkit that you can use to reforge equipment. You'll grab it from here or the blacksmith chest. Because we're already done it, instead of getting that, you get the blank rune. Basically means you can then make a rune of your choice. If you might have noticed, I haven't put any runes on things yet. Honestly, you don't need to early game. You don't. And to be honest, you probably want to, and this is part of the issue I do have with this game a little bit, is you probably want to be banking as many of your runes as you can early on, so you can then, once you get closer to end game or the interlude, you can start putting those higher level runes in your gear. Because the problem is, once you put a rune in your gear in a piece of equipment, that's it. You can't remove it, you can't then change it, you can't do anything with it. Once it's in there, that's it, and you're stuck with it. Which does mean a lot of the time when you change your gear a lot in early game, moving into like Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3, you are just going to lose a lot of the gear that you're using, unfortunately. And it's quite a bit of a pain. All right, skills. So we have now grabbed this, which is quite good. Choices we have now is you can either move up this way or you could go ahead and grab these skills, which you probably should grab at some point. As of right now, I think we are surviving for the most part. I'm not struggling with that too much. So I'm going to just go up this way and I'm going to grab intelligence. We probably want to be grabbing a bit more intelligence. I just like to take strength a bit earlier so you can get a little bit extra life. But right now, we're just going to keep taking intelligence. What we are going to do, this is where it's a little bit tricky about what we want to grab. Could grab these for mana regeneration. But I think what we're going to do first is grab these, because that's attack damage, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. Not sure which one we will grab, but we might go grab these ones first, and then we might move our way down towards this way, and then so you can grab these. Oh, these are all daggers, no, we don't probably... No, sorry, we want to then grab these skills, which are really good for our stuff. But anyway, for now, we're not going to stress too much of that. Anyway, what I was getting at is, yeah, obviously the view count isn't huge, which honestly, I don't really care because I'm just enjoying. I'm not generally someone that's very creative. So to be able to make something that's sort of creative is great. And honestly, to me, I just think it's crazy seeing that people are viewing the videos. Even if they're not watching all of it or a lot of it or whatever, just to see that people are, there is some form of engagement is kind of cool to see. But if you do make it this far or get through the video, any I'm always open for advice or suggestion. Honestly, I'm not looking for this to become anything big or massive, but I do think it would be cool if I had a little community of people where we could talk about games, I could review games, play games, whatever. Not looking for this to be anything big. Never plan. No, we're not quitting the day job. Put it like that. In regards, but yeah, so that's all my hope for this channel is. And if it doesn't really ever grow much, and that's okay too. Like, to be honest, I'm not doing this because I want to grow a massive channel. I'm doing this because I think it's fun and it's a chance for me to try to do something a bit more creative that I've never really done before. Also, another thing that we just picked up is if you had done this area first, you can get a support gem. I pressed the wrong button, but that's fine, right? You can get a spirit gem here. They will drop, but note that with spirit gems, you have to have, like, you can spend them, but they won't work unless you have the appropriate spirit allocated for you to be able to use it. That is basically how the gem system works with spirit gems. Generally, by the end of the campaign, depends on the build, but you are probably going to have, on average, 2. Sometimes you can have 3, but again, it depends on what you're running, and then certain skill gems require a certain amount of certain skill gems require a certain amount of spirit to use, such as like cannibalism is a really good one. It basically helps with your health. You need like 20 spirit to be able to use it. It's a bit rough. All right. So now what we're going to do, first off, hit that down first. If you want to keep range, you can use that. It's doing all right damage, but come on, bro. We got our Mace Strike. So hit him with that. Hit our bell, and then fucking smash him. And bang. Early on in the game, you can basically tank through a lot of these guys' moves. You can basically like tank through them. So don't stress too much about it. Most of the bosses early game, if you're following along with me, you can just tank through their moves. So first thing we're going to do is pull the lever for the girl. Go through her dialogue. Then we'll go through the manor. Wait for that to load. Hit the waypoint. Then we're going to go back to town. Do our usual stick. Talk to the NPCs. Get rid of our stuff. Identify. Move all of that to here. Again, none of this stuff is really that good for what we're running. And we're going evasion, not armor. So talk to her. She's just going to give you a spirit gem, and she's going to ask you to kill him. Talk to Renly. He will then give you one of these. Again, depending on what build you're doing, depends on what's good. I always like to take this because early game physical damage is nice. You can then put that into weapon of choice. For us right now, though, I'm not going to be using that. Salvage bench. You give him that toolkit. You can then use that to salvage. I'm just going to now go to Una, and I'm just going to get rid of all this stuff because it doesn't really suit me for our build. What you can do now is go to Renly and just have a look at the stuff he's got to sell. If he's got anything good, like have a, that's level 12. Oh yeah, Alright, so we probably want to get new gloves. He's not selling gloves that we want. That's a bit annoying. So you could go grab a staff if you want, but honestly, I'm not going to grab that just yet. Talk to Finn. He's a gambler, so, you're basically, he's not going to tell you the stats. So we're going to find the gloves we want. I have, like, a lot of money, so I can afford to do this. So spend. So we're just going to grab a couple. Let's have a look. Lightning res, fire. Lightning intelligence, max life accuracy. I actually quite like that, only because it's got very good. I like the other stats it's got. It's going to throw some stuff on there. Get extra defenses. Now we're going to go to Una. Disenchant, and we can get rid of all those. Can upgrade this stuff if you want. This stuff I wouldn't worry too much. I guess you can look at if you've got rings, if you can run anything. Right now what I would do is I'd look through cold rings and find anything that you can run. Like, that could be okay. I might actually grab that. Mainly because it's giving us a lot of extra cold res, which will be good for this area. And now what I'm going to do... Ah! Damn it, game! I'll grab this, mainly for the mana regeneration, but at least now, 37 cold, which is nice. Alright. A bit annoying, but alright, this has actually gone 46 minutes. So it is a bit of a long one, but I just want to get through this area. This area, there isn't anything too special to it that you need to worry about. Pretty much what we want to do... I'm going to try and run through this bit as fast as we can. As you can see, these enemies are a bit tougher in this area. Just keep running. Okay, run, 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 run. Kill, kill, kill. Okay, we're just gonna run this way. Pretty much, I'm not really trying to do this area. There's not really anything good here, honestly, that you need to do. My recommendation is only, kind of like I always do, is kill everything as quickly as you can. Any XP that you can get is very nice. Okay, hit that for the checkpoint. And then gonna do this. Okay, they're dead. You take that for good. Hit the rope. They're just going to drop a support gem. Early game, again, that's really good because you need as many support gems as you can get. Because they don't drop all the time, which is a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. Alright, pretty much now what we're going to do, hit that, explode, run this way, hit that again because that's nice, hit that again, hit that down, hit the Tempest Bell if you want, that's going to give extra damage, grab that because they're always very good. Just for clarification, that when it comes to our abilities, Ice Strike is pretty much what we're using for clear. That is going to be used to clear out all enemies. We are then using Tempest Bell is more what we're using for bosses or single target enemies, because we want to be doing as much damage to them as we can as fast as possible. All right, hit him with that. Hit, hit, hit. Alrighty, so we're gonna run this way, up, 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 up. There is all that stuff. Again, that is also why Frozen Locust is actually pretty good, because they'll all surround around it, and then you can explode it. And now that we got Herald Device too, it does a big explosion, because basically one explosion then activates another one, and it all chains together. Now, hit that checkpoint. If you want to, you can run around through this whole area now and just find all the enemies that you want and kill everyone that you see in sight. Again, the more people that you die, the more XP you'll get. Sorry, the more enemies that you kill, you can get more XP. Sometimes if you're not sure if it's worthwhile or not, check your level. This is a level 14 area. We are level 16, so we're actually to above. And generally that means that like the amount of returns that you're getting from XP are probably not going to be that great. Early game, like Act 1, I mean, you can probably get away with doing it more and gaining more XP from it. But as you play more and more into Act 2, definitely in Act 3, you're just going to find that the returns for it are quite diminishing. So I would just like kill everything as you run through the area for the first time, but don't worry about grinding too much. You will level up pretty consistently as you play the game. All right. We have now made it to Oakham's Manor. This is the last area before the end of the act. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. And in the next video, actually, before we do that, we may as well just take our next passive. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab this. We're going to grab intelligence. And then next what we'll do is we'll move into this tree and we might grab either attack speed or this one. I'm not sure which one is going to work for our build better. The main reason we want to do these is we want to add a path. So at some point, eventually we can grab this. But that's what we're going to do for now. And I will see all of you in the next video. Peace.